はい。
Welcome to the special Fantasy on Ice Nagoya episode of Yuzuru Hanyu is my emergency contact, the FanyuFanme Podcast. We've reached the long intermission, yes, even longer than the 25-minute ice resurfacing intermission of Fantasy on Ice. 2 cities down, 2 more to go, 2 weeks to wait. But Yuzu made sure to leave us with plenty of crumbs to snack on while we wait to rejoin him in Kobe. Nagoya was one winning Yuzu crumb after the next. I decided to spend my intermission productively by going back and watching all the past Fantasy on Ice YouTube videos I could find. There are a few. And what they reminded me is that Yuzu has always been winning Fantasy on Ice. His shirt has always been mysteriously shorter than everyone else's. He has always gestured to the camera, though maybe not with so many variations in quite such rapid succession. He has always been living his truest Yuzu, lest we forget Fantasy on Ice 2019, when Yuzu unleashed during Cruel Angel's thesis, and the Fanyus realized we can't take him anywhere. The fact is, our love has gotten so big that we simply can't handle Yuzu anymore. But we'll keep trying. So you just keep winning those ice shows, Yuzu, and we won't change the rules to make sure you don't win them in the future.
せーの。
Good idea, Yuzu. Let's move on.
せーの。
Yuzu is winning ice shows. You don't technically win ice shows. At least that's what I thought. But after Fantasy on Ice Nagoya, Yuzu proved that he does, and so do we. The original title of this post was, "Let Yuzu Keep His Clothes On." Once the Nagoya Day 2 ab slide broke the Fanyus, I was prepared to write a thesis on how Yuzu should be appreciated for all of the things he is that are so much deeper than his abs. That the Fanyus love the entire essence of Yuzu. I'm pretty sure that's also the name of an anthropology candle. He doesn't need to flash a shoulder or pull up his shirt to be loved by us wholeheartedly. Personally, I like my modest Yuzu in his 7 layers. I'm quite fond of Yuzu in clothes. One of my favorite clips of Yuzu is the one where he is sitting on the bench at the cricket club and takes off a pair of pants to reveal another pair of pants. Now that is sexy Yuzu. I hated seeing all the demands roll in for him to take off more and more clothes. Isn't Yuzu better than that? Doesn't he mean more to us than that? Hasn't he already won us completely and by a world record margin? You can see how that post could have gone. But then I saw a comment from a Fanyu about how they are happy that Yuzu is having fun. And I realized I was wrong. I didn't need to say any of those things, because they were right. Not to mention the sticky issue of hypocrisy when it comes to me demanding, "Take off the hood and show us your hair!" while at the same time attempting to throw non-flammable water on the Earth Yus demanding, "Take off the shirt and show us your abs!" More important than protecting Yuzu's eye candiness is being happy that Yuzu is having fun, and that it is with us. After watching Yuzu withstand so much pressure during the Olympics, I am happy to watch him masterfully spin off his blazer if it brings him joy. Though it did beg the question, now what are you going to do with that jacket, Yuzu? But he clearly had practiced that part in his hotel room too. Mochiron. So technically, we all won with that jacket choreography. The Earth Yus got Yuzu taking off the jacket. The Prude Yus That's a new one. We'll see how it plays out. Got Yuzu putting on the jacket, and Yuzu got the screams from all of us. It's nice when everybody wins. A fellow Fanyu pointed out that my often referenced mortified to expose his shoulder Yuzu wasn't home that day. Yeah, he certainly was not. In fact, it ironically looks as if this is becoming Yuzu's favorite body part to flash. Yuzu likes to contradict me sometimes. Stop it, Yuzu! You're killing my Yuzu street cred! In fact, there's been so much attention on Yuzu's skin flash on ice that we've almost forgotten about Makahari's ice show winner, the paper cup. Almost. We better be careful or Yuzu may decide to become a competitive water pourer. One news clip from Nagoya showed the cup pour from real face 4 times, including twice in slow motion, but only showed his triple axel twice and didn't even comment on his insane jump combo during the finale. When Yuzu said figure skating isn't only about jumps, I'm not sure he meant it was only about paper cups. Well, Yuzu, I guess you're going to have to start being more specific. Or less sexy. And I think we all know there's only one of those two things you can actually do. After Makahari, the question had been, what will Yuzu make our hearts scream next? The answer to that question came before Fantasy on Ice Nagoya had even officially begun. And the answer was, Kya! Nobu's now legendary video, which I have entitled Yuzu Heckles Nobu, took Yuzu's no social media prowess to a whole new level. Does Yuzu need to have his own social media accounts to win the internet? No. In fact, he's shown us now that he doesn't even need to be in the screenshot to go viral. I can't tell you how many times I have watched this video solely to hear Yuzu's voice off screen. And is anyone else obsessed with the way his voice gradually ratchets down from fangirl to that's not true, humble Yuzu? I think they should rename Nagoya to Nago-kya in honor of this momentous addition to Yuzu's series of endearing videos he accidentally won. Apparently, Yuzu even won the rail announcements in Nagoya as people were warned about crowds due to an event. They really should have just said it like it is. Yuzu is here, stand back. Or, behold, goat in town. Or they could have just played Yuzu's Kya! 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 on loop. Which would be a fantastic way to start your daily commute. Got a little distracted. But back to Wild Yuzu and what we did to deserve him. I know there was a time when Wild Yuzu was far more common. The infamous,
ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a brief intermission before Yuzuru Hanyu loses all of his clothing
era. The Yuzu lost a dance battle and his shirt era. But somewhere along the way, he entered the I am the emperor of figure skating era, and I guess he felt the pressure to stay clothed. I also believe there is the very real possibility that there are some serious inside jokes going on within the Fantasy on Ice cast. Whether it's about the costumes or the social media responses, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a competition to see who can get the biggest reaction. And of course, we know who the winner will be. I can just imagine Yuzu being like, hold my paper cup, before he took the ice for his ab slide. In fact, once this footage surfaced, I found it hard to find anything else on social media. When I couldn't even find the quad-toe, triple-axel, triple-toe combo from day 2 amidst all the screenshots of a provocative black and yellow silk shirt going where no Fanyu thought a shirt had gone before, I realized, there is no pre-ab slide. Or simply put by Yuzu, I win! But if we're handing out gold medals for these ice shows, it has to be acknowledged that Real Face apparently didn't win it for everyone. And that's fine. I guess. As long as you don't get hateful about it. It made my heart go doki doki. And not because I am one of those Fanyus that thinks everything Yuzu does is perfect just because he's Yuzu. I mean, it's not my fault everything Yuzu does is perfect. Was it Masquerade? No. Was it Haru Yokoi? No. Did the costume have butter wings? No. But it was a new Yuzu program. It was Yuzu skating for us. It was Yuzu once again defying the laws of physics and saving a triple axel one ferocious bestie at a time. Everything Yuzu does is Yuzu. The moment he does it, it becomes Yuzu. It may not always be the Yuzu you prefer, but it's still Yuzu. Who knows which Yuzu we'll get in Kobe and Shizuoka? I wouldn't be surprised, or disappointed, if we get Utsukushi Yuzu in a sparkly spun sugar costume. But if he incorporates the paper cup into that program, the Earth Yus may finally get what they want. And I'll let you figure that one out for yourselves.
完成です。
There is one particular Fantasy on Ice winning moment that has completely done me in. Haru Yokoi. I have loved this program from its very first performance. But just like my love for Yuzu, which seems to grow exponentially every day despite already being far beyond the peak of comprehensible love, I love this program more every time I see it. I'm to the point that those first 3 piano notes and a camera shot of Yuzu instantly produces tears. I rediscovered the 2018 Fantasy on Ice Niigata performance of Haru Yokoi, which includes one of those breathtaking moments where a single expression from Emoting Yuzu made me declare, "He is the only human." See if you can find it. I'll put the link in the description. I was reminded how lucky we are to have experienced this beautiful creation from the first moment it saw Yuzu's light. I selfishly hope that Kobe and Shizuoka bring us another of these creations. In Nagoya, Yuzu ab-slid and jacket-spun his way into the Fantasy on Ice history books of hotness. And now, Yuzu, feel free to take our hearts and leave them in a melted puddle of water on the ice as if you had just poured them over you out of a paper cup. As you wait to see what new fantasy Yuzu will bring to the ice in Kobe, you can follow FanyuFanme on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Redbubble, YouTube, or FanyuFanme.com, where we love Yuzu fantasies, both on and off the ice. Until next time, say it with me, Yuzuru Hanyu.
ありがとうございました
The FanyuFanme Podcast is a Back to the Forest production.
Back to the forest? You know, just kidding.